Hey guys, here again at Bass Lake enjoying, well, it's a rainy day, kind of cool. The weather is getting colder out there now that we are getting closer and closer to the fall, and one of those things that really hits the spot on a cool day is a nice warm soup or stew. We've got a bunch of vegetables left over. We supported local and actually have been getting a vegetable bin every 2 weeks, but it means we have a lot to use. So today on Brendan tries to make a bacon vegetable stew. The good thing about said stew or soup or whatever you want to call it, it all comes down to consistency, is you can pretty much add whatever you want. You want corn? You can have corn. You want potatoes? Yeah, you can do potatoes. You want it more of a healthy kind of mindset? Less carbs and things like that? Starches go out the window? You can still make it something special. What you need though is your vegetables and some bacon. So what you got here is your vegetables and your bacon. This isn't Brendan tries to cut stuff because we've seen that I can do that admirably. So we have all the vegetables here ready to go. Tomatoes. It is a tomato-based soup, so we'll go with that. We've got cauliflower. We've got celery. We've got green beans. We've got spices, herbs as well that you can use. Just get creative with it. And we have bacon. Bacon is important. It adds some texture to it and it gives it a little bit more flavor. If you're fortunate enough to have homemade bacon like we do, big shout out to Steve Seeley and his smoking kit and all that, use that, but you can use store-bought bacon, just maybe not the one that have maple flavoring on it. It'll taste very, very strange. But when you want to start this off, you start with your protein. You're going to cook the bacon first. Let it go for a little bit of time, and then you add the vegetables. The good news is when it comes to cooking, if you are at the trailer or the cottage, you might not have as much space as you would in your kitchen. That is not going to take away from your ability to make something delicious as this. Just be creative with your spacing. If there's not enough area, just move some stuff and then get back to it. But you're going to want to stir the bacon, let it get nice and brown, nice and crispy. And once we get to that point, you're going to add your vegetables. This is one of the easiest things that you can do. As I always say, if I can do it, you can do it. But we're not at the end yet, so I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Now that you got your bacon nice and cooked, you want to make sure that it is crispy. You don't want floppy bacon in your stew. It's just not what everyone gets behind. You have it cooked down, you get the fond off the bottom, which is great, it's going to have lots of flavor. You turn down your oven, and you're going to add your vegetables. And it's just everybody into the pot. That's it, that's all. Yeah. This is going to be a bad mistake. We're just going to do it. We'll see what happens. Everybody into the pot. Onions and carrots and green beans and tomatoes and celery and some fresh herbs and spices. It's perfect. And you know what? You can add a little bit of water as well. The tomatoes, they are going to come down and give you your liquid, but a little bit of extra water is not a bad idea, just to be careful. Half a red Solo cup. You can figure out the measurements, but you just pour that in there. If you wanted more of a soup than a stew, you can add more water, but if you do want a little bit more of the hearty kind of mindsets, you're just going to put this on a low setting, let it cook, mix it every once in a while, and as these break down, as the sugars come out, you're going to get more liquid, and then it's going to be delicious. It's going to be about 20 minutes time. So find something fun to do. So now you've given yourself some time letting the vegetables cook down. Just a heads up, I said put it on medium and low. Went through it, wasn't done at 20 minutes actually. You put it on high, it's going to be all right. Because there is so much liquid in there, it is not going to burn and stay along the bottom. If you're worried about that, just after every little bit, just go along the bottom, give it a little stir, give it a little spin, and that'll make things better. As you can see, you've got yourself a delicious stew with a lot of great vegetables. But we're not done just yet. Because of the fact it is a tomato-based stew, there's a lot of acidity there, so you need to cut that with a little bit of sugar, or if you are trying to eat healthier or a diabetic like me, use sweetener. You can use a bunch of different stuff, but you add some sweetener into it, stir it around, and it'll cut the acidity to make it a little bit more palatable for you. You can also add some salt and pepper, and that will be to taste. For us, we don't really need to do too much salt because the bacon is pre-cured and has all the saltiness in it already, but a little bit of pepper can add to it. But it really comes down to your personal taste. Give it a try, see how that goes. If you want to add more, you can add more. The good thing about this, it makes large doses of it, so you've got stuff left over for lunches and things like that. We're going back to school. We're going back to work in a more normal situation. If you like to prep meals and have things sorted out before the work week or school week hits, you got stuff here for lunches, for dinners, and it can tide you over for quite a bit of time. You got soup, got a grilled cheese sandwich, and you are set for a delicious meal. Give it a try.
Brendan Seeley is not a licensed professional. Use his advice carefully and cautiously at your own risk.